What's going down, ladies and gentlemen? Fearless here. One half of Trial and Error. I'm so sorry, number one, for being so late. Sorry about that. Brian will be hopping on sometime soon. For some reason, I cannot find. Huh? Let me go in here. Oh, please. Oh man, there it is. Wow. Okay, yeah. So apparently they changed things up in here again or whatever. But whatever. We're still here. I still made it. So today I wanted to talk about something that I know so many of you know what I'm talking about. Hold on one sec. Hold on, juggling. What did I say this was? I think it was like juggling something with stupid people. Yeah, I think that's what it was. Sorry about that, guys. So today is juggling stupid people, and there was something else that I had in there too. I forgot what it was. But anyway, today is literally just about juggling a bunch of idiots. Well, what do you do when you're at work, you're out and about, and you just see there's just a bunch of idiots, just dummies, right? So especially like if you're at work and somebody is all in your business, isn't that crazy that we've moved along in evolution so much that instead of being worried about being eaten, being stung, being bit, being ripped to shreds, we're concentrating on being in other people's business. We concentrate on what somebody said to us. We concentrate on our feelings being hurt. I mean, it's like what? I just had this conversation today with a colleague of mine who's not even in my who's not even in my sector of what I do, right? Chiming in and wanting to talk about some shit. And it's kind of like you write programs, like you don't what are you doing? Stop. Like quit. Like write the program, keep your mouth shut. The only question technically you get to ask is how do you want this to go? Do you want it yes or no, or do you want this um, where you have to actually write it out and document it? That's the only thing you should be asking. Shouldn't be in nobody else's business. You shouldn't even be associated with emails or anything that don't concern you. But yet we find ourselves being bombarded by people all in somebody else's business. And this is what I'm talking about, juggling stupidity, juggling stupid people. In general, you're in a situation where you're worried so much about what everybody else thinks. I'm gonna fuck it. 8,700 people die in the United States every day. Every day. And you're worried about what? I want you to think about that. Like, out of 350 million people, for the most part, in America, 8,700 people die every day. And you're worried about being in somebody else's business. The fuck? Like, stop. Like, see, I'm taking this course in anthropology, which is pretty fascinating. It's not a career that I'm gonna go into by no means. I'm more of a philosophy and sociology type of guy, but you got, in order to get that degree, you got to take sociology. I mean, anthropology, right? And anthropology is the study of ancient shit. In a lot of cases, they dig through trash, kind of like some of y'all do now, right? You take an anthropological stance on bullshit today, and then you walk around and say that it's news. You walk around and you say that it's what's going on. No, you're just nosy. It's what it is. You're nosy. And that's probably, here's the thing, I'm gonna be honest with you. This this attitude that I have about certain things, this nihilism that I look at through the lens of life in general may be a bit convoluted for certain people. I don't understand. I did this paper and I was talking about like my life. My son is what, 13? So 12 and a half years ago, we were sleeping in my car off of, shit, what is that, 30th and Bedford? Like, I remember that shit vividly. And it's a very visceral experience that I have about doing that with my son screaming in the back fucking seat, right? Hungry. It's damn near below zero. Like, it's cold. And I'm in my car, yo. And after I got over the poor me's, which lasted a minute, I'm not gonna lie to you, it did, because I was wondering, where's all those people that I did all this shit for? Where's all the people that I gave money to? Where's to just be doing it? Where's all the people that when they didn't have anything, I was quick to give, and I never wanted anything in return. And then when they tried to give it to me, nah, you cool. I just want to see if you would keep your word. Thank you for keeping your word. Nah, the money's yours. Keep it. Right? And then to end up sleeping in my car with a fucking toddler. Right? And the only person like dead ass that helped was a friend that I actually kind of did bad. My son and I, we slept on that woman's couch for 3.5 years. Depression is a hell of a drug, y'all. You hear me? I'm just saying. Depression is a hell of a drug. I was depressed. I was anxious. I was scared as fuck. Before that, I was curious and is extremely adventurous. Wanted to take life by the balls, and I ain't gay, but hey, right? And then I'm sitting on my homegirl's couch, hopeless, penniless, jobless, right? And here's the crazy thing, right? The scariest thing, and I've said this before and I'll say it again, the scariest thing about being homeless is not losing your shit. Because that's happened before, like whatever, right? The scariest thing about being homeless is when you're face to face with you. When you don't have the house, you ain't got the cars, you don't have the bills, you don't have the debt, you don't have the friends. You have some family, maybe, but it's just you. That's when you get to truly understand what you're made of. And I ain't gonna lie to you, I was in a dark place. And again, you got to remember, I was raised in the state. So from 7 until I was 19 years old, all I knew was foster home, group homes, institutions, and lockups. I learned family and structure by living in the institution. The Nebraska Boys Ranch in the Alliance, Nebraska. I learned structure by being in Boys Town. Follow instructions. Look at the person. Say, okay, do the task immediately. Check back. I'm 47 years old. I went through that shit damn near 30 years ago, but I still remember it like it was yesterday. I still remember that. So, although I didn't grow up the same way that my son is, right? I'm not growing up like him. My foster mother, one of my first, she's the one who got me into reading, and I hated that woman for years. And I promise you today, I don't know anybody who reads as much as I do. Right? So when we're talking about juggling situations and juggling stupid people, this is what we're talking about. Sometimes you have to use the horrific shit that you went through to move you forward. I do this thing called reframing, and reframing basically means, by Webster's dictionary, it states that you have to. Oh man, where did I pop? I think I threw them in the trash. I have cards for that stuff, whatever, but it means to basically look at stuff in a new way. And that's when I was a kid, that's what I had to learn. How to look at things in a brand new way. And it fucking sucked. And because of that, the relationships that I have with people, it sucks sometimes because I am mentally and physically so used to being cut off from everybody and by myself that I didn't even understand how to love another person fully, unconditionally, until my son came. My child, I'm what? I was what, 33, 32 years old when my son came into what, 32 or 33 years old. So I didn't learn how to love another person until I was a grown ass man. Think about that, a grown man. Thank you, Ms. Dunbar. She says it's reframing is a therapeutic technique, and you take a situation and you spin it into a new positive thing. Right. So it's kind of like the aversion effect of gaslighting, but more in the positive. Well, I get it doesn't really matter whether it's positive or negative. Um, it's ambiguous actually at that point. But it is a form of it, or whatever, or Jedi mind tricking yourself, right? And that's kind of what it was. But I didn't even understand how to love another person until I learned how to love my child. And and now that I'm going into sociology and philosophy and all that stuff, I'm starting to see that I used to think that I was alone in that, and I am not. We are fucked up, but I think we can do better. I do. You know, in philosophy, there's this, well, actually, the Greek mythology or whatever. There's this thing that they talk about, Pandora's box, right? There's a whole story that goes along with it, but one of the things is that when you open that box, it's gonna give out all these things or whatever, right? But the last part, the last shred of decency was the one thing that got stuck inside of the box, which is hope. Because hope is like a fucking drug, man. Don't y'all think hope is a drug, right? Because I hope things work out. I hope this motherfucker shows up. Or I hope they don't look up under the covers. I hope she don't come home. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? So that's one of the things that I started to understand is that hope is it can be liberating and dangerous all at the same time, depending on how you use it and who's wielding it, right? But like I said, man, we're pretty messed up. But I have hope for us. I truly do. Um, but reframing, one of the things that I love talking about or teaching is reframing because it allows you to put whatever spin you want to the picture within itself, or let me rephrase that, the frame within itself, because that's all you're doing. You're reframing what's there. The picture's still intact. The frame is what changes it. So if you have a conversation with somebody and it doesn't go well, they're yelling and screaming and this and the other. Now, here's the thing: when it happens, that's the event within itself, right? But the problem is that we hold on to this shit a week, an hour, 2 weeks, a month, years down the road. We hold on to it, right? And the part of the back of our brain, this part called the hippocampus, we keep it running. We keep it running, right? And the thing that most of us don't understand is that you have to recreate that story every time you do it, right? And here's the thing, whether we know it or not, that story gets darker and darker and darker. So how do you change it? How do we reframe it? Throw some circus music in there. So somebody says, you ain't shit. You ain't gonna never be shit. Kind of lighten shit up a little bit, right? Put some bunny ears on the person as they're talking to you. Like give them some rabbit teeth. Like, you ain't shit. You and your mama, your daddy ain't shit. Give them some buck teeth. Play with the idea in your mind. Because here's the thing. You're already doing it anyway. Right? You're already recreating this shit anyway. So why not do it where it's going to benefit you? Why not do it that the next time you see this person, you just start smiling? Hey, man, you all right? Last time we talked, boy, you were pissed. Right? Like I was saying, I am the shit. S-H-I-T, right? I mean, yeah. I mean, so you figure out, you say whatever you need to in order for things to work themselves out, right? That's what you do. I mean, shit, at least that's what I had to do. So could you imagine being, what, 34, 35 years old, sleeping in a car with a child? Boy, and then you start to understand that there's certain things that reframing cannot do. And there's sometimes you have to sit in that anger. You have to sit in that pain. And so many of us don't want to sit in it. Right? We don't. We don't like it. We don't like feeling uncomfortable. I'm okay with it. I've made my peace with it a long time ago. But I have to still remember that 8,700 people die every single day. And one day my number will be amongst that. Right? I know maybe it's a morbid way of looking at things, but for me, that's how I justify a lot of stuff. Like, dude, you ain't gonna be here forever. Motherfucker, you already 47. Type 2 diabetic and heart conditions. Bitch, you better get out here and live. So if somebody says some more whack shit to you, cool. Check it and keep it pushing. And all this going back and forth with talking people, stay what you need to stay and then walk away. That's it. Right? And that's what reframing has taught me. That's what living as a ward of the state has taught me. Right? I mean, I don't know what it's done for you, but it's what it's done for me. I also have to give credence. Like I was talking to a friend of mine yesterday, and we were talking about that this particular woman I'm not really too fond of, which I really shouldn't be talking shit about people, period. That's one of the things that Marcus Aurelius talked about. But I found myself talking about it, and sometimes it just feels good to fucking get it out, right? And I was sitting there talking about this woman, and then my friend was like, yeah, but they ain't like they're going to do anything about it. I'm like, they're like, she's like, there's not like they're gonna fire her or do this and the other. And I'm like, yeah, I don't want that woman to get fired. I don't like her, but she's pretty good at her job. I mean, we just don't click together at all. But she's also a single mother and she has children. I don't want that woman to get fired. Like, I'm pretty fucked up, but I ain't that dirty. You know what I'm saying? And I remember reading, and what book was it? Fuck. What book was it that I read? It's I think that the IQ, emotional IQ by I think Daniel Goleman. Miss Dunbar, do you know that book? You seem to know this stuff a little bit. Do you know what book I'm talking about? I think it's called Emotional Intelligence. Was it Daniel? Daniel? Yeah, most EQ. But one of the things that he was talking about in like the first chapter was it's something to the effect of when you're getting upset with a person, it's important to know what you're upset about, number one, to be upset for the right reason, for the right duration of time. Like, I may not like this woman at work, but personally, she might be a really cool person. I doubt that, but I can separate this from that, right? A lot of people can't do that. Dr. Martin Luther King talked about, I think it was in, I'm paraphrasing here. Somebody asked him if do you not like white people? How do you feel about them? And he said something along the lines of that I can separate the person from their deeds. I can separate from who the humanity of this person based on the things that they're doing. Right? I have that ability to do that. It doesn't necessarily mean that I still don't like you. Because yeah, I may hate your guts, but I still want you to eat. If you got kids, I still want you around to take care of them. You know what I mean? So I cannot like you for a legitimate reason, but still not want God to rain sulfur on your fucking house. You know what I'm saying? Wiping you and your family out. It's not my thing. All right. I don't subscribe to that. Right. Now, what I would do is I'll try to stay away from you. I'll try to limit my conversations with you, limit my proximity towards you. Right. Oh, there it is. Thank you, ma'am. So, Ms. Dunbar says, I had to walk away for a bit. I am familiar with emotional intelligence, um, but not the specific book, but you have the gist of it. Yeah. I teach it on. Oh, nice. Okay. So she's a counselor. Okay, nonprofit ministry. Okay, nice. That help people in crisis with mental health interventions with for free and available funding. That's what's up. If I if I have my little things, I'll clap for you. But all right, good stuff. So like yeah, so and another really cool thing about reframing, kind of going back to that, is it was it's a therapeutic technique. It has, but it was made extremely popular in the 1970s by two guys by the name of Richard Bandler and John Grinder, who created this pseudo therapy called NLP, which is neuro linguistic programming. And I myself am a NELPer, it's what we call ourselves, where they basically took some of the best out of every field. From Gestalt therapy to structures, um, clinical psychology, uh, school. They took it from everywhere. Gestalt therapy, Fritz Perl Virginia Woolf. Woolf? Virginia Woolf, right? Virginia Woolf, right? Ms. Dunbar, Virginia Woolf, yes? Hold on, let me think. Yep. She was a family psychiatrist, wasn't she? Tell me, hold on, give me a sec, guys. Here's the thing. Anytime I start talking about books, like that's my thing. As y'all can see behind me, like, hold on, let me see. You see that little spindle thing over there? Full of books. See my little where the lights are behind me that are growing? Whole entire thing of books. I have a library at my house. All right, there's a gentleman by the name of Jim Rohn who said, and I quote, every man, woman, and child needs to have their own library. He said, start them young. Start them young. And in this library, you need two types of books. You need the best of what man can become, and you need the worst of what we have done to other people and everything in between. And that is what I have. Right above me, I have a whole entire set of books of philosophy and religion up here. And I mean all religions, not some, all of them, because I think they all have something to teach. Oh, please. Oh, thank you. Over there to my left, that is general science and just language stuff. The ones with the lights that you guys see behind me is that's all fiction. And then my television, I don't know if you can see that behind that, that's all business and other stuff. So, needless to say, I got a lot of books. And unlike, when this is another thing that bothers me again, juggling stupid situations and people. I remember years ago, there used to be this show called MTV Cribs where Moby, the singer, the entertainer, was on there. And all they showed was cribs, houses, cars, people's stuff, whatever. Oh, yeah, that part. And it was, okay. Thank you. So, was it, so no, it wasn't Wolf. It was Virginia Satir. Satir. That's what. Look, I'm sure you know that one. So yes, it wasn't Virginia Woolf, Virginia Satir. But anyway, so Moby had UTV Cribs went to his house, kind of like a loft type thing, and you can look this up too. I'm sure you'll find it on YouTube. But he had made this statement. He's like, "This is my little library," and he said, "I've often wondered every house you've gone to, you've never seen another person's library. You've never seen their books, right? That's one point. My other point is today when you watch television or if you watch like interviews on people, they're usually sitting with a backdrop of like all of these books and shit, right? But for a bibliophile like myself, I ask, how many of those books have you actually read? How many of those books have you actually cracked open? Boom! Boom! Tell me, Miss Dunbar, I don't know my shit. And this is off the top of the dome. Off the top of the dome piece. Telling you, I'm just saying. What? Can I clap for myself? Yes, I may. Yes, I may. Yes, I may. I'm just saying, I love to read. So, and again, that's the one thing that my foster mother instilled in me at a young age, telling me, you need to go to your room. I don't like your attitude. Go read. So that's what I had to do. And then I would get in trouble on purpose just to go read or whatever. Thank God I caught that shit before prison was, right there. Because in there, they're like, that's all we do is read all the time. Thank God I figured that out here as opposed to going there. Never been, ain't trying to go, whatever. But so Virginia Satir, 1916, 1988, was a pioneering American psychotherapist recognized as the mother of family therapy. Boy, tell me I don't know my shit. We're renowned for her nurturing experimental approaches to fostering honest communication and human validation. Just saying. I'm just saying. Do I know my shit? A little bit. There's a book that I think you all y'all should read. I'm gonna throw. Matter of fact, I'm gonna try to throw it up here. It's one of my top five. It's one of my top five favorite books. Um, it's called The Courage to Be Disliked. The Courage to Be Disliked. Hold on. The Courage. I'm gonna get it for you so you can see. Oh, there it is. Boop. This is literally my. Did you get this book? Oh dang it! Hold on, y'all. Sorry. Okay, here we go. Sorry about that. Give me 1 second, guys, because I want to show you this book if you guys wouldn't mind. I'm just saying, I think you guys should buy it. Boom. Oops, sorry about that. Let's hold on. Let's pick one. All right, so here we go. So God, no, I don't need to. Stop. All right, here we go. Bam. This is the book right here. The Courage to Be Disliked. This Japanese phenomenon that shows you how to change. Stop. That teaches you or shows you how to change your life and achieve real happiness. The self-help industry is a multi-billion-dollar industry. And you heard me. Not multi-million, multi-billion-dollar industry. And it's a whole bunch of farce type shit. It's a bunch of fluff. There's not a lot of real stuff backed by any type of science or any of that. This book is based on Adlerian psychology. And so if you guys remember, well, you probably won't, but I'll teach you. So Sigmund Freud, which, father of psychiatry, whatever, had some really cool stuff and some real weird shit. I'm not gonna lie to you, I really think he had a extremely inappropriate relationship with his mother. But he was the one who was talking about, you usually marry your other person, and it's kind of like that Oedipus complex where you want to bang your dad and sleep with your, what is it? If you're a chick, you want to bang your father and kill your mom, but if you're a guy, you want to bang your mom and kill your dad or whatever. So like the Oedipus complex. Anywho, so Sigmund Freud had a couple guys usually with him, Jung and Adler, and most Carl Jung and whatever Adler. I forgot to put his. Hold on, let me see. What is? I miss Dunbar. What's homeboy's lad first name? Hey, Brian, what's up, my guy? Boy, I just been, man, no notes, no nothing, just going.
All right.
Just going. Right now, I'm looking for my guy from Adlerian. Hold on, Adler. Alfred Adler. Alfred.
Okay.
Okay, hold on. I'm in the middle of these three books at the time, but I will add. Okay, yeah, for sure. I'm telling you, this is the best motivational book I have ever read in my life. Next to their second book, The Courage to Be Liked. Oh, was it? No, is it? Oh, The Courage to Be Happy. I don't know. Let me look. Hold on. The Courage to. Yeah, The Courage to Be Happy. Sorry about that. I think that's what it is, right? Yes. So it's basically by the same people. Brian, there's some type of noise you got on your stuff. Yes.
All right, let me turn my mic down. Okay. What kind of noise? Describe it.
Whatever you did is going away.
Okay. I don't know. It might be something with my mic. My mic has been acting weird the last couple of times. Did that work?
Oh. Hey, do you know Ms. Dunbar? She said Lodi.
Hey, what's up? What's up? How you doing, Fernita?
How do you pronounce her name? How do you pronounce her name?
Fernita, right? Yes, Fernita. Hey, girl, what's up? How you doing?
Oh, well, yeah, okay. Apparently she knows you, Brian.
Yep. We went to school together.
Oh, okay, sweet. Okay, well, yeah. So anyway, hello, welcome. We've just kind of chatting back and forth or whatever, and so this is the other book. This is the second part of the first one, which again, I think you got to get them both. She said, "Yes, I don't know how to join you." What does that mean?
uh jump on uh jump on the stream to discuss things. I don't know. I don't think we can do it on our plan that we're on. Like we have a specific plan you got to be on to do, like where it's like webinar stuff. Let me see.
No, yes, we do.
We do.
Yes, we
All right.
do. All we
Okay.
have to do is give her the code, and she can hop on with us.
Okay. All right.
But so today we're talking about juggling stupid people and stupid situations.
Okay.
And I started off by talking about reframing, and then Farinita jumped in and gave her 2 cents, which I very much appreciate. And it was some really cool stuff. So yeah, man, I just been kind of going, bro.
Okay.
You know me, like get let me think of some stuff, and I'm just gonna run with it.
I think
And
yeah, for me, I'm coming out of a presentation, so I'm absorbing. I'll jump in here. Like
no. Hey man, you cool. Last time you did all the most of the talking, I listened. This time, it's all good.
Okay.
I mean, like I said, man. I mean, and that's the great thing about what we got going here is that if you can't make it, I'm gonna hold it down. If you can't make it, if I can't make it, you'll hold it down. Vice versa.
I know
You know what
one
I'm saying? Go ahead.
I know one thing. I've had to cultivate my social media because like I had to change what my viewing habits because I was getting a lot of those really stupid, frustrating conversations,
Mm,
specifically in the relationship space, like relationship talk, where they have those live podcasts where it's a couple people up on stage, they got a studio audience, and then people are asking relationship questions or relationship advice from these people on stage.
right.
And normally you hear some like you'll hear like really kind of specious or surface level advice or whatnot. And I had to change my social media feed because I'm like, I can't listen. This all this does is piss me off. Like all this stuff does is make me mad because um you're hearing people use a lot of like therapy words and
And they don't know what the fuck they're talking
they
about.
have no
Yes,
concept of what they're
no
talking about.
concept,
And
no concept of it.
it's a mix of like therapy words and these weird sociological terminology and stuff that they're misusing and stuff. And we hear stuff like real kind of vague ideas and concepts that sound good on social media, right? Like, you know, but I had to disconnect from that because I'm like, if I consume too much of this, it's going to end up informing the way it's going to pollute my social media. One, two, I get mad because I'm like, man, you're just throwing out words there, bro. You're just throwing out words that sound smart and it drives me crazy. And so, yeah, I had to disconnect from that stuff because it's not saying people are stupid, but when you're using words like when using these using psychological or behavioral health terms or um, sociological terms as buzzwords, it just infuriates me to hear it. So
Mhm.
that's kind of where I'm at. And so, but I know that a lot of people on social media, that's what they consume. Like they do nothing but consume. They try to do think pieces on red balloon challenges and, you know, who should pay the bill kind of stuff. They be having hour-long conversations about who should split the bill and all this other stuff. And I can't consume that. It just drives me nuts.
Right, and which is really funny because that's not even a psychology.
Right.
I think that's more of a sociological
Right.
question. So again, you're mixing up your ologies, if you will. But again, that one of the things that I talked about when we first started talking about this was
Mhm.
reframing and where I understood it from, not only from reading, but from being in neurolinguistic programming and as well as going to school for sociology and philosophy.
Right.
So I love this stuff anyway, in
Right.
general. Um, Psychology never really. I'm taking it because I have to, but it's not really a thing that I like. Oh man, I really want to understand why people do what they do. I don't give a shit
Mhm.
what an individual person does. I do care about what people as a whole do.
Right.
That's That's really cool to learn about. That's fun to learn about. That's inspiring. And not only that, but it also sets the tone for what's coming. You know what I'm saying? Because it tells you not only where you've been, but also where you're going.
Right.
And that's the reason why I love sociology and so much, whatever. But I also love the aspect of philosophy so much because it asks those questions that psychology cannot ask.
Right.
You can't ask certain things, and you listen to what certain things are being said. But they're like a friend of mine is going to school right now to be a therapist, right? Or actually was, or whatever. And some of the stuff that she's able to ask, they said she's not even supposed to ask those questions until much later on.
Yeah.
And in NLP, we learn how to ask those questions. That's like one of the first things you learn
Hmm.
is how to ask proper questions. So we learn um, the same thing that lawyers learn, which is the Socratic method of questioning: the who, what, where, why, when, how, and if. Right? You ask all those things, and everything you say can be in that. So I think that when we're looking at certain things, and I'm talking to another individual, I'm trying to extract as much information
Hmm.
that I can before I judge or before I talk about something. Now it doesn't always work all the time.
No.
Sometimes it bypasses my shit. It jumps right on into, oh man, that's wrong, without any juxtaposition of any of this. I just went and bought a motorcycle last Friday. Was it Friday? It was Friday. I went and bought a motorcycle last Friday. And I've read so many different sales books and books on sociology and all that stuff. Um, that if you're trying to sell me, I'm gonna know it because
Right.
I know the tools that you're using. Right now, I'm not saying that I know them all. I just know enough of them to know when I'm being fucked with,
Yeah.
to know when I'm being gaslit, to know when I'm being love bombed. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know enough to know that. I've read enough papers to know this shit, right?
Right.
So as I'm looking at this, I'm like, as I'm talking to this dude with this, they have this whole entire, and I bought a Harley Davidson.
Hmm.
Harley is a whole entire culture within itself, right?
Yeah.
It's a culture. Every department is its own culture. Your service department, sales department, merch department. If there's anything going on with your policy, there's a department for that. Sales, I mean, everything has a department. So as they're running your paperwork through, they're taking you through all of these different sales departments. And they're like, this is the department over here. This is the department over here. Like, how do you feel? What's your experience? I'm like, bro, I just want the fucking bike. And I told him that dead ass. Like, and I told him, like, bro, I know what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I appreciate it, but I know what you're doing. And I'm not here with any of my friends to really celebrate it. So I would rather just buy my stuff and leave.
Yep.
They want to have a party. They want to take pictures. I'm like, we could take a picture, but I don't need to celebrate.
So
The owner is like, you really don't want to celebrate? I'm like, no, I just want my stuff so I can leave. Like, and I'm gonna say this real fast. That's
Mhm.
also the reason why I fucking love Tesla. I don't like, and again, when we talked about this before, compartmentalizing situations and people. I do not like Elon. Fuck that guy and fuck his politics. Fuck what he talks about. That's his stuff. But that car, shut the fuck up and just build my car.
yeah.
You ain't got to talk. Just build the car,
Well,
right? Well, 1 second.
yep.
The reason why I say this is there's a reason. When you buy a Tesla, All of it's done over your phone. 95% of it's done over your phone. 95, and I'm not joking. 90, you ask anybody who owns a Tesla, 95% of your car buying experience with Tesla is done over the phone. Over the phone. And that takes maybe, if you're trading in, if you're doing whatever, I'd say about an hour altogether.
Mm-hmm.
When you go in, you spend another 15, maybe 20 minutes signing papers. And I say maybe. And that's if people are ahead of you, signing, looking at your card, and taking ownership of it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's an hour and a half and you're done. Every car dealership, every bike dealership runs the same way. You're there for hours at a fucking time. And if Tesla can figure this out, how can't you figure the same thing out?
Mm-hmm.
If American Idol back in the day can have millions of people call in their vote, how can you not figure this out with the presidential election? So we can figure shit out when we want to,
Yeah.
but we don't when we don't. And again, that has nothing to do with psychology. Well, I guess social psychology, but that's more of a sociological type of thing. So sorry, go ahead, sir. It's all yours.
So one the motivational interviewing, I think I've done some stuff in that, but I haven't. I'm rusty on that because that was something I did when I was I was working with behavioral health kids. And so if I'm not mistaken, it has the core principles, partnership, acceptance, compassion, evocation, something along those lines. It's always a good way to kind
Oh
of
yeah.
to partner with people and kind of you're basically treating them as collaborators as opposed to just one side receiving, one side sending messages and stuff like that. But
Miss Dunbar, that's already happening.
the other side is it sounds like, and I think the Harley Davidson thing is kind of an example of this, where they're trying to get you to take pictures and really associate as brand yourself as a person who buys.
Yes.
Because what
Yes.
they're trying to do from a marketing standpoint is if you brand yourself successfully as a Harley Davidson person, you're always going to come to their store and buy Harley Davidson brand merchandise. It's a high control group, right? Like they're trying to get you into they're trying to get you into their group or their kind of cult of Harley Davidson, because they know that if you're branded yourself as a Harley Davidson rider,
you're only gonna want Harley Davidson shit.
You're gonna want shirts and merch, and
you're gonna spend so much money. And the thing, and it's so funny that you say that, because I went to some aftermarket places to buy the same thing that they were trying to sell me.
Mm-hmm.
I found the same damn thing for literally half the price cheaper.
Right.
Half the price cheaper. Half.
Well,
and then you can find somebody else to put it on for you.
It's controlling that shopping experience. Like a lot of times, especially like at the Apple store, that's how they become $1 trillion company, because it's a high control group. They get you in their ecosystem, and then you successfully brand yourself as a user of Apple products for whatever reason that you have as your motivation, whether it's ease of use, whether you like how simple it is and things along those lines, or how integrated all the systems are. You brand yourself as a purchaser of Apple things. So when they remove a feature and then sell it to you back as a dongle that you got to pay money for, you're like, well, that's just how that's the game. That's how the game is played. And so that's really what they're doing. Harley's trying to get you to be, I'm a Harley guy, and that's what we do.
Yeah, no, I just like to ride bikes. Yeah. I also have one of their competitors, which is a Victory Highball. Mm-hmm. Whatever. They don't even make that bike anymore. I still got that. Or whatever. So Ms. Dunbar, what's up with the motorcycle bag? Okay, I don't understand, for a different bike. Though it is my swim bag and a conversation piece. I don't understand what you mean a motorcycle bag.
Let me see.
Like, yeah, can you show me an example?
I got it. I'm pulling it up, I think.
Yeah, like show me. I don't know what that is.
Well, I'm seeing a lot of different kinds. Oh, I see. It just kind of depends. All right, let me pull it up.
Yeah, pull it up, please.
See, yeah.
Oh, you mean it's a saddlebag? You use it. You use saddlebags as your swim bag. That's funny.
Shoot, I might have to cop me one of those. I love a good bag. I like those modular kind of bags where you can put stuff in it and things.
Okay,
You know what I
okay,
mean?
okay, okay, okay. Okay, I got you. She said I ride on the back of the bike. Now I'm not a driver. Okay, so I have all my stuff in the back. Gotcha.
Mhm.
Okay, I'm like, wait, what? Okay, that makes sense now. All right, wow. Let me ask you. I mean, this is kind of off the. It's not all, whatever. But so apropos, uh, in the back in the back of your sissy bar or seat, because that's what they're called. Actually, they're called worse than that. But uh, in the back, when you're sitting back, whoever's riding, do you have like a cup holder thing that you can sit like right here, like right in the middle? Because like I bought a here. Let me show you. Hold on, I had a writing back. I'm gonna show you the bike that I bought. Hold on one sec. Uh, no, okay, that's cool. I'm like, what? I'm not gonna lie to you. I was gonna kind of clown you a little bit. I'm be honest with you. Oh, actually, no, mine's is special. Okay, hold on. Okay, hold on one. Nope.
Mhm.
Okay, there it is. Got it. All right, so here it is. I mean, I'm. Listen. I'm not funk flexing. I'm just showing my thing so y'all can kind of see what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I can't. For me, I'm like y'all can have the motorcycle stuff.
Y'all can have this. This is what I grabbed. Oh, tell me she ain't nasty. Oh, and her name is her. So is Monica. Last name Calhoun. See my baby. She got a first and a last name. Now, yeah, some of y'all might be wondering, who is Monica Calhoun? Who is that? Let me show you.
Well, and y'all can like I said, y'all can have the motorcycles. The way
Right.
my hand-eye coordination
These
and
are
balance is set up, I'm better in a car. Just put me in a car. I'm safer for everybody in a car.
I
Because
got you.
if there's anybody that'll lay that motorcycle down and crash in the worst possible way, it's gonna be me.
Oh, never mind. Hold on. What is that? Hold on. There we go. God damn. All right, there she is. This is Monica Calhoun. She was in this movie called The Players Club. And her. Okay. Okay, I got you. Um, she was in The Players Club. And she was old girl's younger cousin, if y'all remember her or whatever. But I thought that woman was so beautiful, and still to this day, woman is gorgeous to me.
Mhm.
So I was like, man, when I was looking at my bike, I'm like, man, she was the first name that came to mind. Monica Miss Calhoun. Hello.
My
So
car's
that's what my bike's name is. Miss Monica Calhoun.
yep, she was in the
Hello.
best man too.
Yes, she was. Yes, she was. One of the finest women I've ever seen. Or whatever. I'm just saying, bam. That's why I named my bike.
See,
Hello.
when I had a lot more disposable income, I would go through like when I get a new car or whatnot, it will always be like the Hill Mobile Mark V. Like it's like the fifth car I bought. And so
The what?
um
What is that called?
the Hill Mobile. Hill Mobile.
Oh, you
Yeah,
Hill Mobile.
yeah.
Gotcha.
And so Yeah, I'm still stuck on my Mark. I think this has to be Mark 6 or Mark 7. But yeah, that
Okay.
but yeah, that I used to be a car guy. Used to be really into cars, and then I had kids, and then they ruined my car, and so I'm not into cars as much anymore. But um
Hmm.
yeah, like I said, I'm better on four wheels than two. Uh
You know what? Actually, most of the time, so am I. I just called my buddy and I'm like, hey, I need you to teach me how to ride slow,
mhm,
like at slow speeds. Like I can turn a corner, I can do what I do, I can get out and hit the highway, say whatever. But if I had to drop, like ride my bike real slow
mhm.
without my feet being on the ground, it's hard for me to do that, and I don't like that or whatever. So I want to be able to ride my bike from 0 to 10 miles an hour without putting my feet down. And I cannot do that at the moment. So, boom.
See, I used to be like back in the days, I used to be obsessed with like BMX bikes and stuff. Like we used to build bikes in my garage and stuff. And so we would take old bike parts and kind of build our little Frankenstein bikes and stuff like that.
Hmm.
And that was kind of our passion and stuff like that. I was good on those, but I could control those a little bit better. Um, yeah. So, but yeah, the motorcycle thing is cool. My wife really wants to do the motorcycle stuff. Um, like I said, for me, it's cool. Um, but like I said, a lot of it is the branding side of things. You brand yourself as the motorcycle person who rides this specific brand, and that ends up becoming your personality, or that's the way they try. That's what the corporations want you to do is say, "This is me. This is who I am. I'm aligned with this specific brand, and I only ride this specific bike." I've seen it happen. I think Dodge has done it. Um, what is it? The the Hellcats, the Hellcat dudes. That's what their personality is. Hellcat merch, Hellcat everything. Um, and that's just how that's how they get you in the door.
Oh,
So
really?
yeah, that's how they get you. Like, oh, take the picture and we're gonna celebrate and make this big event. And when you don't, they're like, oh, you don't want to? No, I don't.
Just one kissed.
How are we
Thank you
gonna
kindly.
how are you gonna get into how are we gonna trap you into our circle? What's going on?
All right, say that one more time.
That's how are we gonna trap you? How are we gonna pull you into our circle? It's the high
Right.
control group. It's the same thing that happens. Like I don't know if you guys are familiar with the Wall Street bets, the people that were trying to do the GameStop, trying to inflate GameStop stock
Yeah.
and all that stuff. It's a
Yeah.
high control group. And so the way that they keep people in line to keep people from selling this stock that nobody should really ever buy, um, is by making it kind of a cult of personality thing. Like you're holding because that's what this group does, and we're going to hold this stock until the government is forced to pay us billions of dollars to let go of it, which is never going to happen. But that's how they keep people in line. And so when you go into these groups, especially like a lot of crypto groups, you say, the expectation is you say good morning, and you have specific rituals that are set around interacting with the group. And that's how
Okay.
they build that cult like thing, especially for pump and dump kind of schemes where you need people to hold on to it so that you can dump your stuff, the illegal shit. You want people to hold on to their stuff so you can dump yours and get maximum value and absolutely just completely crap all over who is smart, who's dumb enough to follow you. That's how they
Right.
get you. That's how a lot of these pump and dump schemes work. And
Oh,
so it's kind
wow.
of
Okay.
it's the same mentality. Like I said, they did it with GameStop, they did it with Bed Bath and Beyond stocks, where just hold on to it. You just hold and you hold and you hold and you hold, and when you squeeze out all the short sellers, then they're gonna have to pay your price. And it's like that's not how that works. They'll just dissolve the company, and then you won't have any stocks.
Oh, okay. So that's how that works. So
The
once the
company,
company dissolves,
yeah,
that's it.
the company goes away, or it gets merged into another company, and then the other company stock merges with that company and whatnot. There's so many different ways it can happen, but these guys have convinced themselves that if they can hold it and squeeze out the short sellers and whatnot, then when it's time to rebuy, and I'm not going to get into the mechanics of it because short selling it doesn't make sense if you're not into stocks, but realistically they're just hoping that they hold it, and by holding it they can keep the price high, and eventually when the short sellers have to you know buy their position, sell their position, then all of a sudden they're going to make a ton of money. Well, it doesn't work when the company just disappears overnight,
Hmm.
or when some capital firm comes in and dilutes the stock price so that they come in and split the stock so many times that your share is like worth only worth a thousandth of what it was.
Hmm.
So there's a lot of different things, but again, the way they keep people in it is high control. You brand yourself as a person that holds GameStop stocks.
Oh wow. Okay.
So that's what it is. So that's the concept I'm putting down.
Okay. Sweet. Yeah. So what is that Kansas Speedway and button operation? Oh, button operated
Mhm.
sports cars. I don't know what that is. Car shows in major. Okay.
Yeah, for those who continue to hold dividends every month and the short sellers die off. Yeah, event that's the plan. But they a lot of times they're just like, I'm gonna hold this until because they believe that at some point the U.S. government's gonna have to step in and make sure, and it doesn't work like that. It's if you ever talk to one of those people, it involves a lot of not knowing how things work or being educated by other people who don't know how stocks work. And so what you have is somebody who has a stock trading career of 3 months educating somebody who's been trading for 2 weeks.
Hmm.
And the 3-month person doesn't know they're only getting, the 2-week person only doesn't know they're only getting 3 weeks worth of stock knowledge. I've been doing it since 2006, and I still don't know everything about it. And so, but Mr. X, go ahead.
So let me ask. So a person obviously is not going to know much, but then do you think that, like with the president, for instance, or whatever, do you not think that because of his contacts, he's going to make a crap ton more money than the average Joe Schmo? Even if he didn't know anything about the stock market,
Oh yeah,
he would probably take $30,000 to probably turn it into millions eventually, just based on who he knows. And not just that, but your laws directly contribute to the stock market.
yeah. He manipulates the market, and the stock market.
So
I
if
think,
you know that it's gonna go up because it's some law that's coming down the
yeah,
pike, you get in low, and then once he signs that bill in the office, everybody's gonna want that,
hmm
and then you can sell that for damn near whatever.
that's how it goes. That's the game.
So then, how is that not? How is that not insider trading?
It is.
Like on a huge scale.
It is.
Not Martha Stewart went to prison for that shit.
Yeah. And the question is, who's going to check him? It's 100% illegal. It's a lot of pump and dump stuff going on right now. It's insider trading. They're getting access to information that the public doesn't have, and they're able to trade in and out of positions to benefit themselves. And the public isn't privy to it. And the reason why they know where the industry is going is because they know what laws are coming down and what laws have a good chance of passing the House and getting signed into law. And so they can move their money around with that prior knowledge. It's like if you had an idea of what the lottery was going to be the day before the lottery hit. Eventually, they as a regular person, they're gonna come and take you to jail because they're gonna figure you rigging the system. And
Right.
so the thing people don't know about the stock market is they think the stock market is built on what the actual value of the companies are, and it's not. The stock market is the largest emotion machine on the planet. It's all based on human emotion and how people feel about these industries and feel about these businesses generally. And so when the market is contracting or when we're into economic uncertainty, people feel safer in things that people are going to buy all the time.
Okay.
That's when people buy Coca-Cola stocks. That's when people buy steel stocks and things like that. Things that are always going to sell. That's when they'll lean into the more ongoing regular stocks that they can count on. When the market is high, or when the economy is better, people are willing to take a lot more risk, and they'll pivot into more speculative stocks that they have a higher return, but also higher risk reward profile. And so if you're able to gauge how the country is going to feel about the economy, you're able to control it on some level. Yeah, you can absolutely say the economy is good, but then do something that destabilizes the economy in a sense, so that you're telling the people that the economy is good. So those people are going to hold on to their positions, and you're going to sell all your stuff.
Okay.
While they're believing that everything's great. And then you come back and say, things aren't so great. And so now they're buying and you're selling. And that's the nature of the beast. So yeah, it's 100% inside trading. I keep saying, who's going to check?
Which is illegal.
Yep. Yeah. So, and depending on the congressperson.
Hey, Liberty Switcher, what's up, champ?
Yeah, that's what happens. And it's illegal for me and you.
Right.
Me and you will go to jail.
Liberty Switcher, you will be going to prison. You understand me?
But that's why there's specific congresspeople
Liberty Switcher, it's not even a thing that it's illegal, but nobody investigates. You don't need to investigate it. It's right there.
Yeah. They know what's happening.
You don't need to investigate. If I kill somebody and the gun's in my hand and the body's right there, you don't need to investigate whether I did it or not. I watched you do it.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to jail. Ain't no investigation.
Well, okay, I'll throw this in here. So, because I was going to save this for my live stream either tonight or tomorrow, depending on.
Give it to us.
But we were going to
do it again.
So, one of the things is, and I went to school initially. In fairness, when we was in college, I was a journalist. I was an engineering major my first year, and then transferred to journalism, and pretty much went through the entire course of journalism schooling until I had to drop out with a couple of electives left. And so, I've always had that journalistic bug, and my journalistic bug has been locked in on a lot of the stuff with the Epstein files and stuff like that. And so, when we talk about people knowing what was going down and not taking any action, there's a couple of breadcrumbs here. So all these people knew about Epstein and things like that. Well, why didn't anybody say anything at some point? Or how did he have all this information about these people? Right. Well, the intel and a lot of the stuff I've read, this is just me. Understand, this is me following this case since about 2015. Right. All signs point to him being an intelligence asset. Right. His job is to get gross people to do gross things, and get awful people to do awful things, and to log all of the correspondence, and then sell it to the highest bidder. And so that's what he did. And so it looks like he was an asset for the U.S. government. He's an asset for Israel. He's an asset for United Arab Emirates. He's an asset for the UK. He's an asset for Russia. Like all of these. So he was playing all odds against the middle. Okay. All these people knew, specifically, we talk about our current attorney general. When she was in Florida, when she took over the attorney general seat in Florida, she had an opportunity to go back and look at Jeffrey Epstein's original plea deal with new evidence, because a lot of people were coming to her and telling her, hey, these are things that you might have missed. She knew about all the evidence, right? They didn't reopen the case. They didn't void his plea deal or anything. They just let it slide. The original guy who was the Florida AG before her ended up getting a labor secretary gig under Trump. I know he's labor secretary under Bush, one or two. And so anyway, he's the one that gave Jeffrey Epstein that sweetheart plea deal that essentially gave him work release for 13 months, knowing the full scale and scope of everything that he was involved in. Jeffrey Epstein was able to leverage his higher up people to muscle out a very ambitious prosecutor that had all this evidence and was looking to pin him to the wall. And so he used his leverage to talk to, I think it's Acosta or whatever, who was the AG of Florida before Pam Bondi took over. And he's like, hey, y'all need to take care of her. She's too ambitious. And they moved her off the case. They moved the ambitious prosecutor off the case and handed it to him. And he let Jeffrey Epstein plea out for this plea deal, which was nothing. And then when Pam Bondi took over, she got new evidence. She could have reopened the case and everything. She did not. And so when I say who's going to check him, who's going to check him? Because she doesn't want to look bad because she had every opportunity to address this in 2008. You know what I'm saying? Or whatever she was the AG of Florida, to correct the wrong. Because if she would have corrected the wrong back then, we wouldn't be talking about it nearly at the scope we want to now. But nobody wants to go back and look bad in hindsight. Plus, there's a lot of people who are tied to this thing that are that have a lot to lose. We already seen people stepping down from just general associations with this dude. Like they weren't even implicated in anything serious, but just people knowing they were in contact with Epstein was enough to get them to step down from CEO positions and things along those lines. So I'm saying all that to say this.
Why would a person even step down? You don't need to.
Because the company stock is going to take a beating, and they already own a bunch of the company stock, so they're going to lose a lot of money if the company stock takes a beating. So would you rather resign your CEO post or lose hundreds of billions of dollars?
Right. And then again, that's kind of like going back to your boy with Elon Musk or whatever. I mean, all the shit that man has said and done or whatever, and they're like, all right, cool. Now you're all right. You see what I'm saying? I mean, and again, Tesla goes down for a little bit, but it jumps right back up.
Mm-hmm.
Jumps right back up.
Well, and so here's the thing. I know 3 congressmen went in office poor and now multimillionaires. How it's a byproduct of being in contact with billionaires, man. Billionaires use money to control things. And so if you're constantly rubbing elbows with those people, they're going to try to use money to influence things to go their way. And so they're going to make sure that you get offered consultant seats and seats on boards and stuff that actually pay money. But then also the more unscrupulous ones will absolutely take advantage of the market and enrich themselves with it. It's part of the game. When we got rid of, when we took the, when the Supreme Court said money is free speech, it opened up Pandora's box in terms of dark money being able to dump into politics. It was happening before, but now it's completely out of control. And so people can dump unlimited amounts of money to get whatever legislation they want. That's why they say over a certain threshold, over a certain threshold of money, and it's a lot of money. But once you cross a certain threshold, like the thing they said, like 300 million, your sense of reality ends up warping. Because whatever you want to do, you can literally do essentially. And so when you live with no limiters, no restraints, like you're walking around like Saitama from One Punch Man, where you've taken off your limiters and you can do literally anything, it really exposes the person that you really are.
Right.
Where you know that there's no consequences for the shit you do. And that's what happens when you get to that status where you have so much money that you can warp your reality and the reality of people around you. Life looks different. And we're talking about hundreds of millions of dollars. So the vast majority of people never have to worry about getting to that level. But I'll be honest with you. But that's what happens, bro. So your reality gets warped. You do whatever the hell you want to. And when it comes to access to politicians, hey, rubbing on elbows with this politician. Hey, why don't you come out to me on this golf trip? I'll fly you out. Hey, your family, why don't you, we're going out in the summer on my yacht. Well, yeah, your family's invited. Come on out. Hey, hear about this stock? Hey, this is an emerging AI thing, and so if you want to get it on the ground floor, that's how that works. So
yeah, man, that's crazy, dude.
And I don't necessarily.
No, that's just mad depressing too.
It is depressing, but I also I have a problem with people making money and then losing all their morals and doing and hurting people in the process of making money. I don't have a problem with making money. Like I don't necessarily equate making money with any kind of evil intent. I have a problem where it ends up actually hurting people and you are leveraging people's suffering to enrich yourself. That's where I have the issue with it. But I don't necessarily mind, well, such and such congressperson came here poor and then they ended up making a bunch of money. Because look at it like this. Fearless, do you know how much the state legislators make here? It's like $20,000. Like it's some obscenely low number. And what that means is only independent wealthy people can afford to go to the state legislature here. Only independent wealthy people can be a state senator
I
because
mean,
the
yeah,
pay is
right,
so low.
but hold on, look at Senator Ernie Chambers.
Yeah.
I
But he
mean,
had
it's the same thing.
other sources of income coming in.
But that's my point though.
Yeah.
Like when I met him, that dude's car, I'm like, you're a senator?
Yeah.
Dude, please.
But that's what I'm saying. What I'm saying is a lot of times your average person, the people that we need in these branches of government to represent our interests are priced out because they cannot afford to, they don't have normal people. A lot of normal people have their job and that's their primary source of income. That's how they make money.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Nebraska state senators, last I checked, is $12,000. They make $1,000 a month. They earn and they're entitled to a per diem of $178 for session days, right? And so what I'm saying is this: the pay is so low that it is an automatic barrier to people that would otherwise be great legislators who would take the interest of normal people in mind because they can't afford it. They can't afford to take off work to go sit in the Capitol building for hours and hours and hours on end for $12,000.
Hmm.
And so the only people who can do that are people who already got money. And so now you're already rigging the game so that only a specific upper class of people can ever really sit in those seats. And the people that aren't upper class are so few and far between that their voices are nullified by all the money in the room. That's the game.
You know, it's really crazy that for juries you get selected just randomly.
Mm-hmm.
But we don't do that for like seats like that. I think we should do that too.
I think so.
Kind of like a Powerball type thing, like a what is it, raffle?
Mm-hmm.
Not raffle, but what is it? Some type of thing like that or whatever, where it's like it's your duty to do it unless you cannot physically or mentally do it.
Mm-hmm.
Your time's up. You have to take that seat. You know what I mean? I don't know. I think about that constantly because but then at the same time, it's who would build the box
Right.
for that.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like you wouldn't be able to trust the people or person building it unless it was somebody who doesn't know you, who can care less about who any of you are. You know what I'm saying? Who has no win in your fight one way or the other.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know. I've thought about that a couple times. Yeah, it's like a lottery type thing. Yes.
Yep.
Yeah. But again, I don't necessarily know if it's like the lottery because you may not necessarily want to do it. Or whatever, but I just think that it's a fair chance across for everybody.
I think if we remove the financial burden, the financial barriers, because I even look at it just to run for states or run for senator in the state of Nebraska, it requires millions and millions, untold millions of dollars.
Seriously?
To be a senator that represents Nebraska and Washington, D.C., it takes millions and millions of dollars. It's a game where the richest person is going to typically win unless that rich person is super, super unpopular, which is what we're kind of coming into now with Pete Ricketts. And so we have this game set up where normal people rarely get an opportunity to slide into those seats unless they befriend some rich and powerful people and who have the money to dump money into their campaign. It's a money game.
Mm.
And so when it becomes strictly a money game and it's less connected with what is good policy and what's not, like again, the entire thing, and it sounds like a conspiracy, right? But the alcohol lobby works hard to keep marijuana from being legal. And so if you have somebody who is getting paid by the alcohol lobby, of course they're going to keep weed and other substances illegal, because for them, they're like, well, you can only use our thing, and that's the only advice, because the more money you dump into us, the better off we are. And so we're going to bring up all these studies and talk about the dangers and ills of this at the third, just because it lines their pockets. And all they got to do is find a politician that's willing to take that money.
Oh yeah, just kind of like we did with when Nebraska legalized the marijuana, but then it got to what's on point, he shut it down.
Oh, the governor shut it down, but Pete Ricketts is the money behind that.
Right.
He's
shut that down. So again, it's so I'm sitting there thinking, like, why do y'all even have this man in office? Get rid of him.
Mm-hmm.
Because if more of the people said yes and he says no, he doesn't give a fuck about what you said. Get your ass up out of there. Now you go.
But he has the power, because since he's kind of the power behind the throne, he's the big money broker of all of these, because he's richer than a lot of these politicians and whatnot. So he could say, I'll put money into your campaign. All you gotta do is come out against X, Y, and Z and legislate the way I want to, and pass laws the way I want to. He's the kingmaker.
Fuck that dude.
He's the kingmaker, and that's the problem.
On that shit.
That's like, the problem. Again,
right. I mean, and I'm saying, here's the thing: we're not the most corrupt, but man, we are getting fucking horrible.
Well, peep game. So, and I know you don't care about sports the same way I do, but one of the things we come to find out was Nebraska's former athletic director dropped a tell-all book about his time working at Nebraska. And one of the interesting
who wrote this? Who?
Bill Moose.
And you can't say no shit about books without
Bill Moose. I think it's either coming out or it's already out. But he's talking about different passages in the book. And he talks about the entire sports, the Scott Frost hire and all kinds of other stuff. One of the things as athletic director he was in charge of was hiring the men's basketball, the head coach, right? And so he's going to bring in the former coach of Creighton, who I think he's out of Oregon. His name was Dana Altman, right? And so, and there's an interview talking about it, right? And Bill Moose is like, I wanted to bring in Dana Altman, and we had it all set up. And, he's like, I think I can get him, and I think he's ready to interview. And the chancellor, who was Ronnie Green at the time, Ronnie Green was the chancellor of University of Nebraska and Lincoln, said, oh, that's great. And then they had a meeting. He had called another meeting to finalize the deal. And he's looking around the room and he realizes, wait a minute, this ain't going the way I want to. What happened was Governor Pillen, who was a regent for the college at the time, said, yeah, we're not going to go with Dana Altman. Nebraskans won't accept him. And he's like, what do you mean won't accept him? And he's like, he's from, and he listed some small town in Nebraska. What do you mean they won't accept him? He was a coach of Creighton. He's from here. And Pillen's like, nah. And that was the end of the thing. That was the end of the conversation. He just said no. It's not even his decision. It's not even technically his decision to make, but he was the one that came and said, nah. And shut the whole thing down. Why is he allowed to do that? It's money.
Really? It has nothing to do with him.
It's money and power. And since he was on the practice squad with Nebraska football, he's the expert on the expert on all sports, apparently. I mean, it worked out. We got a good coach, but that was kind of the game that was happening behind the scenes. Tom Osborne still has a lot to say in what happens in this state. Pete Ricketts has a lot to say what happens in this state. And that's the game you got to be aware of. The big money. They're the ones that lay it out and determine what happens and who gets what.
Right.
So anyway.
Jeez,
that's just a microcosm.
I'm going that shit. That's insane.
But
yeah, I didn't know any of that.
Yeah. And that's the power behind the throne in this, but every state has that story. Every state has the money family that makes all the money, and they make the decisions behind the scenes.
Hey man, you know that guy's book is like 600 and some pages.
Bill Moose. Oh yeah, bro. There's a lot in there because
that's not that serious.
Yeah. Well, I mean, but I think he also talks about his journey with alcoholism and stuff like that, trying to major and then run $1 billion college football or college athletics program.
Yeah. Okay. I'm just saying.
Money is crazy, bro.
And that's crazy. $600 and some for that. I mean, 600 and some pages.
What can you be saying for 600 pages?
No, I'm not scrolling. I'm not scrolling while Brian's talking. He mentioned a book, and I'm just looking it up.
Yeah.
I'm just looking at the book, that he saw my Jessica was like, "Are you seriously scrolling while this just?" No, he mentioned the book.
He's gonna
I'm
buy
looking at it, and I was gonna buy it, and I was sitting there thinking, like, do I really care about 654 pages of this man's life? Not really.
But I would say it might be 300 pages of how the money moves around in Nebraska. Because that's what a lot of his book tour is about, is who's really pulling the strings around here. And
Really.
Nebraska is a football state, and so you if you want to know who has the say, if you want to know who has the real money or who has the say, who is making decisions about our sports programs,
Okay, cool.
who's
Well,
overruling the experts.
I at least put it in my add to cart.
All right.
Okay. I don't know if I'm actually gonna buy it or not, but I at least put it in there.
Yep. Liberty
I'm-
Switch. That is
what-
true.
What did they say?
Depending on the committee and congressperson, he or she knows what's happening regulatory wise, and it's 100% illegal, and nobody's gonna do anything about it because
Nope.
people in charge of creating the laws and bringing the laws are also the people profiting from this exact process. We investigated ourselves and found nothing. Found that we did nothing. That's kind of what the situation is.
We've done some thorough investigations
And found no wrongdoing
on ourselves, and we have found no wrongdoing.
Right. It's like having my son
We're
investigate
we're good.
facts.
Right? It's like having your kids investigate whether they clean their rooms or not, and then have them come back and tell you, "Yeah, I did it.
Yep.
I've investigated cleaning my room, and my room is clean. Investigation over.
You don't even have to look.
You don't need to look. We already got it.
But now
It's done.
Now make it Epstein, because that's what's happening.
It's done. Everything's okay. And here's the thing: even if, let's say that 15,000, look, let's be realistic. Let's say that 15 people that we know of is on the Epstein files, right? 15 of them. Here's the thing. Let's be honest. What are you gonna do about it? None of you are gonna do anything about it. Like nothing. Like you could sit and pout. You over there pouting. No one gives a shit. So
At some point, this country and the other countries I mentioned, the citizens of these countries are going to have to realize that the governments of each one of these companies, the investigative arms and the intelligence agencies, sat there knowing full well what this man was doing to girls, boys, babies. There's some I'm actually going through it. There's some nightmarish shit that happens in there. Okay. And they said that these children were acceptable collateral so that they can get blackmail material on people so they can make more money.
So they blame the children for being victims.
All these people decided that they were fine with feeding these children into this meat grinder because the intel that he was getting on this official or that official was more valuable than the lives of all of these kids. Every single one of these countries made that kind of calculation. And there were people who were trying to stop this. There are investigators that were trying to stop this. Some of them ended up dead. Some of them ended up fired. Some of them just got pulled off the case and said, no, we don't investigate that. That's coming from the top down. So somebody decided somewhere that this was acceptable collateral and that these kids were acceptable collateral. And at some point, we're going to have to reckon with that. These are the people that are elected into these seats or nominated to these seats by people we elected.
Right. Well, there it is.
That's a dark note to end on. Y'all, I'm sorry. It's 3 million pages, y'all. I'm sorry. That's a really dark note. That's a bleak note to end on. These people don't care about your babies. They will absolutely they'll absolutely feast on their bones. And have a great day, folks. No, that's not how I want to put it. But
yeah, good luck out there.
But you guys got to understand that's the geopolitical game. there's stuff in there where they're talking about, hunting people. Some guy from Saudi Arabia was thanking Epstein for the torture video that he sent him.
Yeah, that makes sense.
The murder video that he sent him. He's like, that stuff was really good stuff. These are the kind of people that are involved in this. And these are also the kind of people that at somewhere, somebody in the government said, you know what? We're going to look the other way. We know full well what they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
We know what kind of monster he is. But
it's crazy because in China, you would be executed for doing shit like this, for bringing shame to our country. Mm-hmm. They'd execute you in front of everybody, millionaire or not,
mm-hmm.
because they've done it. Like they're not playing out here or out there. Yeah, I mean, it's just that's just extremely. And I remember right before 9/11 happened, Donald Rumsfeld got on TV and said, "We cannot find, I think it was like a couple $1 trillion. Mm-hmm. It's lost. Like, and we still have no idea what happened to that, which is really crazy to me because people don't understand how much money $1 trillion is.
Yeah,
and he lost $2 trillion. Like, again, you don't understand how much money that actually is on any register. So the fact that there's 2 million, for me personally, I personally would have taken him out to the White House lawn and executed him in front of everybody. And to set the precedent that we're not doing that. I mean, I'm just saying, I mean, if ICE is doing it now, I don't see why, what's his name? Ari Shaffir. He's a comedian. And he said he had a very effective, I don't necessarily think it would be appropriate way to deal with our current political corruption problem. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, you about to get us demonetized.
No, I'm not.
I know what you're saying. Yeah.
All I'm saying is that he had a very unique way of dealing with it. And I'm not going to lie to you. I 100% agree with him. 100% agree with the interviewer asked him a question and he answered that question. I 100% agree with Ari's response.
Pete,
can I ask you before you say, do you agree with what Ari said?
To a degree. I think I would reserve that not for theft. I wouldn't reserve it just for theft. I would like everybody who was involved in the harming of those kids. They would absolutely get all that. That's just how I feel about it.
Okay.
Real quick. So I wanted to kind of give us perspective because Fearless is talking about $1 trillion, right? If you had $1 trillion and you spent $1 million every day, it would take you over 27,000 years to spend it all. Or 2,700 years. I'm sorry.
Say that one more time.
If you had $1 trillion and you spent $1 million of it every single day, it would take you over 2,700 years to spend it all.
Again, and that's $2 trillion. Dollars gone.
So that's how much $1 trillion you could spend.
That's how much $1 trillion is.
You could spend $1 trillion. $1 trillion. You could spend it. You could spend $1 million every
single day
for 2,700 years and still not run out of money.
So let me rephrase that. So let's what is the debt ceiling at now?
Let me see.
Last time I heard, I thought it was at $17 trillion. Debt. So again, that's, go ahead. Let's look that up.
Debt ceiling is 41 trillion.
It's at 41 trillion now.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, there's no lifetime that you can imagine where that's going to be paid off.
Yep.
Like, I'm going to say it again because I don't think that people are hearing me. There's no lifetime that you can think of where that will be paid off.
That is an unfathomable amount of money. And I don't think people.
And not just money, but the time span. And this is all made up.
Yeah.
Look, remember when I told us at the beginning of all this that 8,700 people die every single day? That is a fucking fact of life. And that's just here in the US. Worldwide is even more than that. So what I'm saying is, I need you to hear me. This 40-some trillion dollars of debt is made up. We created it. We created the problems that go along with it. We've created the money system as itself, the Wall Street, all of it is created. If we were to be hit by a fucking asteroid tomorrow and it wiped out half of the world's population, half, your money situation, people are not going to be like, hey, it's going to take us $2 trillion to get this fixed. No, it's going to take every man, woman, and child to get this thing picked up and restarted. Money will not be an issue anymore. It'll be a bartering system, but money won't be it. So what I'm saying is, it is a fucking fact. Look it up if you need to. The only way that this thing gets taken care of is if you wipe the debt clean and start over.
Well, there's
But
not
again,
even.
Go ahead.
There's not
Go ahead.
even. It's like between $5 and $8 trillion of actual physical currency in the world right now.
Say that again.
$5 to $8 trillion of actual physical currency in the world right now.
Yeah, you're talking about in the whole entire world.
In the whole entire world.
And this is also we're also including in here the money from the Sinhalese people, that whatever money they got, where mankind can't even go into they're protected. We're even counting their money.
Right.
Because they may got some stuff over there too.
Well, there was something I did want to talk to you about, Fearless, and I got to find the clip. But it does tie into the money thing. And it kind of goes into one of my nerd interests, which is the zombie apocalypse. So anyway,
yeah.
this dude on TikTok, and I got to find the reel where he's talking about it. So you guys might have to roll with me for a second. But anyway, he was talking about how a lot of these billionaires were meeting, and they were having these meetings and talking about their shelters, their bug out shelters, when, in their mind that the world is ending and all this other stuff, and they want to be able to be in control. And so they hired like special operators like Delta Force or SEALs or whatnot. And these people are paid to come in when the apocalypse goes down. They're supposed to show up and provide security for these billionaires in their bunkers, right? Billionaires and their families in their bunkers, right? And the question he was asking was, who is going to keep these people from robbing you? Right. Who's going to keep these people from robbing you? Like, you're a billionaire, right? You have your shelter.
Can I bring my family if I'm protecting yours?
Yeah.
You get to bring mine too?
Yeah. And that's what he's saying. So who is going to protect, like, when money doesn't matter anymore because all your money is on a ledger somewhere on a bank that the server's done, you can't even access it because we don't have electricity or internet or a grid anymore. And the money that you physically have is worthless because there's no one that's going to trade for it. They'll trade food and other stuff, but they're not going to trade money because it's essentially worthless. Who is going to keep this Delta Force guy and his family? You move them into your shelter to provide security so you can keep everybody else at bay. Who's going to keep them? Who's going to keep them from rising up and robbing you of all your resources that you've been hoarding all these times?
Right.
And he's talking about, that's why a lot of times when we talk about tech billionaires or being geniuses, he's like, yeah, you got to take that with a grain of salt, because they're literally figuring out, how are we going to control people when we'll just pay them really well. Okay, well, there's no bank computers anymore. That money doesn't really exist in the real world. How are you going to pay them? One, two, what value is that money going to have if we're all trapped in the same bunker?
Mm-hmm.
Well, you need to be able to buy the food from me. Okay. Well, this special forces paramilitary, this military guy is trained to use weapons in hand-to-hand combat. Are you going to stop him?
Right.
What are you going to do from him? I am now the king of this bunker. You all listen to me now. What's going to
Mhm.
stop them from doing that?
Yeah, nothing.
And so you're right. You can literally, they could say, yeah, shit doesn't matter. It just wipe it all out and everything. But then it upsets the currency and destabilizes everything because everybody's currency drops to zero. And now we have riots in the streets because
Again,
nobody.
again, my here's the thing. There's no foreseeable end for something that we created.
Yeah.
Like again, we created this issue, we've created the problem, and then exacerbated it. So I'm looking at according to Business Insider, when they were chasing Pablo Escobar, he burned to keep his family warm. He burned $2 million in cash. Burned it to keep her safe. And the reason why I'm saying this is because, as we just told you before, none of this means any goddamn thing. It only means something because we associate what money can bring us and what money can do. Money itself doesn't mean shit. Nothing. It is a. It is a. Give me a. It is a. Um.
I mean, it's kind of it's an imaginary it's kind of a
There you go.
it's
It's an,
it's kind of a social contract that we all just kind of
and it's literally all it is. Thank you. It's social contract, and it's an imaginary social contract that I give you this, and you give me that. But that piece of paper, just like this piece of paper right here, if I were to put my seal on it or whatever, right? That piece of paper means that you now have my word. Well, what happens when this piece of paper doesn't have anybody's word on it? What happens if my seal is on here, but I've been known to be a fraud, a thief, and a murderer?
Yep.
Now, what does that mean? Doesn't mean much.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Thank you. It's a unit of exchange that can change, and it's changing all the time. Um, look at Bitcoin and all that stuff. So it is changing, and a lot of money is based on the faith that you have in it. Just
Yeah.
like if you go to the bank, it's any bank in the United States for the most part is backed by the FDNIC, is it?
FDIC. The FDIC.
FDIC, which insures the money up to about a couple 100,000. So that means if you have $15 million in there, you're fucked. So that means
Yeah.
they're only going to insure you up to so much, and that's it. You see? So the reason why Bitcoin and all these things, or all those crypto coins and all that stuff, is such a it's wreaking so much of a havoc is because it's not based in a government system.
Mm-hmm.
It's based on normal everyday people saying, "Hey, I'll give you this for that," and the government can't track all that, so therefore they can't control it. So therefore they can't control you. You see what I'm saying? So if you have however much money, you know what I'm saying, they have no idea how that whole thing works or whatever. So that's why the reason why they're consistently trying to deregulate or regulate it. I don't want to say deregulate, regulate it as much as possible, so then they can be like, well, it's the same type of currency as the U.S. dollar, but the U.S. dollar is not based on anything. It used to be based on gold. Now it's not based on gold. Now it's based on the full faith of the United States government. Well, what happens when nobody trusts you? What happens when other countries are deciding to buy from other countries because they don't want to fuck with you no more?
Right.
Then what? You know what I'm saying? I mean, seriously. And that's what people are doing now. When people are buying their, what was it I was telling you before? Uh, the panda cards in China, they're not they used to go through New York. So they would buy it, a person would buy something. The transaction would go to New York and then go to China, right?
Right.
Now they don't do that anymore. They keep everything, and they're starting to keep everything in house, or they're buying stuff directly from other consumers without going through the U.S. because the U.S. is on bullshit. At least that's what we. That's what they tell us.
Well, we've been the reserve currency and all this other stuff, and
Mhm.
a lot of these people aren't putting faith in our stock, our bonds the same way
Not at all.
because it's so much uncertainty. When you buy a bond, right? When you buy a bond, more times than not, you're buying certainty in the country. Like you're thinking that they're going to be stable or whatnot, and it's kind of an indictment. That's why they said that one of the reasons why they backed off of this entire Trump's going to buy Norway thing, or the United States is going to acquire Norway, or was it not Norway, Greenland, is because Finland and Norway, two of their biggest retirement plans, because they have some government level stuff, they started selling U.S. securities off,
Okay.
and that's enough to get the right people to say, "Hey, Mr. President, you need to chill." And that's kind of what happened.
Right.
So we backed off of it because all it took was them starting it, and then another country following suit. Next thing you know, all of Europe will end up selling off U.S. securities, and it will tank our economy.
Right.
Crazy work, man. Crazy
Okay.
business.
Yeah. So that's kind of where we are. So.
Yep.
Yeah. So yeah. So yeah, I think we're almost a couple hours into. I think we can
Yeah.
wrap this one on up, man.
Yeah, I'll wrap this. Yeah, we can wrap it up, man. I had to present this morning, so I'm a little bit wiped out, man. But I do appreciate you. Thanks, thanks, Nita, for jumping on Liberty Twitcher. Shout out to you, guys. We love this kind of interaction and stuff like that.
Yeah, for sure,
Once
man.
I figure out the workflow to bring in guests, we can do that. It's just figuring it out and how that would actually work. But yeah, I do appreciate you guys tuning in. It's been Brian and Fearless. Talk to y'all later.
Yeah,
Peace.